What if I told you that losing bone strength after 60 isn't just nature taking its course? What if the truth is, much of that loss is preventable, and in some cases, even reversible, simply by changing what's on your plate? We've been conditioned to believe that weak bones, stooped posture, and a greater risk of fractures are just part of getting older. That once the clock passes 60, bone loss is inevitable, and all we can do is be careful. But that's not the full story. Here's the reality: bones are not stone. They're living, dynamic tissue, more like trees than like bricks. They grow, they respond to stress, they adapt to their environment, and, most importantly, they need daily nourishment to stay strong. And just like a tree needs water, sunlight, and healthy soil, your bones need a constant supply of very specific nutrients. Not just calcium, but a balanced mix of vitamins, minerals, and proteins that tell your body, it's time to build, not break down. Every meal you eat can either feed your bones or quietly starve them. And that choice, repeated day after day, can mean the difference between standing tall at 80 or fearing every step because you might fall. So today, we're going to talk about the best foods for stronger bones after 60, foods that aren't exotic or expensive, but backed by science and proven to make a real difference. Because keeping your bones strong isn't just about avoiding fractures, it's about keeping your independence, your mobility, and your confidence for the years ahead. Let me introduce you to Patrick Rivera, a 67-year-old retired high school football coach from Austin, Texas. For most of his life, Patrick was the picture of strength. He was the guy who could carry heavy boxes up the stairs without thinking twice, the one who helped neighbors move furniture, the grandfather who lifted his grandkids high into the air just to hear them laugh. But one Saturday morning last spring, all of that changed. Patrick was in his backyard, trimming the rose bushes his wife loved so much. As he turned to grab the watering can, his foot caught on the edge of a small garden stone. He stumbled and fell. It wasn't a hard fall. Not the kind you'd expect to send someone to the hospital. But when Patrick tried to stand, he felt a deep, sharp pain in his hip. An X-ray later that day revealed the truth: he'd fractured his hip, from a fall that, in his younger years, wouldn't have left a bruise. The doctors explained that his bone density had dropped more than he realized. Years of not getting enough bone-supporting nutrients had left his skeleton vulnerable. Patrick told me, "Doc, I didn't even know my bones could get this weak. I thought drinking milk when I was a kid was enough." In the weeks that followed, he found himself avoiding stairs, holding onto furniture as he walked, and even hesitating to play with his grandkids on the floor. It wasn't just the injury, it was the fear that it could happen again. That fear is something I hear from so many men over 60. But here's the part that matters: Patrick's story didn't end in fear. Once he learned the right foods to eat and how to feed his bones every single day, his strength, and his confidence, started to return. And that's what we're here to talk about. Because the same turnaround that Patrick experienced is possible for you too. Most people think of bones as solid, unchanging structures, but the truth is, bones are alive. They're constantly being broken down and rebuilt in a process called remodeling. Here's how it works. Osteoclasts are the cells that break down old bone tissue. Osteoblasts are the builders that lay down new bone. When you're young, these two teams work in perfect balance. Old bone is replaced as fast as it's removed. That's why kids can bounce back from a broken bone so quickly. But after about age 30, that balance starts to shift. And after 60, especially in men, the breakdown team often works faster than the rebuilding team. That's when bone density starts to drop. Why does this happen? There are a few big reasons. Lower hormone levels. Testosterone plays a role in maintaining bone mass. As levels drop with age, so does bone building activity. Reduced activity, less weight-bearing movement means fewer signals to the bones that say, stay strong. Bones, like muscles, respond to demand. If you don't challenge them, they weaken. Nutrient gaps, it's not just calcium you need. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium. Magnesium and vitamin K help lock it into the bone structure. Protein provides the raw materials for the collagen framework inside your bones. Chronic inflammation, poor diet, high sugar intake, and certain lifestyle habits can keep your body in a state of low-grade inflammation, which interferes with the bone rebuilding process. Think of your bones like a house. Calcium is the bricks, protein is the scaffolding, vitamin D is the construction crew that brings the bricks to the site, and magnesium and vitamin K are the mortar that holds it all together. If even one of those is missing, the structure isn't as strong as it could be. The good news? Just like you can strengthen a weak house with the right materials and repairs, you can rebuild stronger bones at any age, but only if you give your body what it needs. When I talk to men over 60 about bone health, I hear the same beliefs again and again, and unfortunately, many of them are flat out wrong. Let's clear them up, because these myths could be quietly weakening your bones. Myth number 1. Milk alone will protect my bones. Yes, milk has calcium, but that's just one piece of the puzzle. If you're not getting enough vitamin D, magnesium, vitamin K, and protein, that calcium may never actually make it into your bones where it belongs. It's like buying bricks for a house but having no mortar, no workers, and no blueprint. Myth number 2. If I eat well now, I can fix decades of neglect instantly. The truth is, bone rebuilding is a gradual process. Your skeleton is replaced over time, not overnight. You can see measurable improvements in bone strength at any age, but it takes consistent daily nutrition and movement. Myth number 3. As long as I'm careful, I don't need to worry. I've heard this from men who avoid running, climbing stairs, or even walking too much. But here's the problem: when you stop using your bones, they lose density even faster. Weight-bearing activity is what tells your body, these bones need to stay strong. Without that signal, the breakdown speeds up. Myth number 4. Bone loss is inevitable after 60, nothing can be done. This is perhaps the most damaging belief of all. Yes, bone loss is more common with age, but study after study shows that targeted nutrition and activity can improve bone density in men well into their 70s and 80s. Bonus mistake: overdoing caffeine, soda, or alcohol. These can all interfere with calcium absorption or actively pull minerals from your bones. If you're drinking multiple cups of coffee and several sodas a day, you're making it harder for your bones to stay strong, no matter how healthy the rest of your diet is. Patrick believed at least 2 of these myths before his hip fracture. Once we replaced those ideas with the right approach, he started to see, and feel, the difference in just a few weeks. And that's where we get to the most important part: the foods that actually build stronger bones after 60. When it comes to protecting and rebuilding your bones, these 5 foods are my go-to recommendations for men over 60. They're not exotic, they're not expensive, and they work because they deliver exactly what your bones need. 1. Salmon, the vitamin D and AMP. Omega-3 powerhouse salmon is rich in vitamin D, which helps your body absorb and use calcium effectively. Without vitamin D, calcium can pass right through you without doing its job. The omega-3 fats in salmon also help reduce inflammation, keeping the bone-building process running smoothly. Easy tip: enjoy salmon twice a week, baked, grilled, or even canned for convenience. 2. Dark leafy greens, nature's calcium and AMP. Vitamin K combo. Kale, collard greens, and spinach are loaded with calcium, but they also provide vitamin K, which helps bind calcium to the bone matrix, making bones denser and stronger. They're also rich in magnesium, another key mineral for bone structure. Easy tip. Add a handful to omelets, smoothies, or sauté them with garlic for dinner. 3. Soy and AMP. Soy-based foods, plant support for bone density. Tofu, tempeh, and edamame contain isoflavones, plant compounds that support bone mineralization. They also provide a solid source of protein, which your bones need just as much as your muscles do. Easy tip. Swap meat for tofu or tempeh in a stir-fry once or twice a week. 4. Greek yogurt. Protein plus calcium in one Greek yogurt packs a double punch. High-quality protein to maintain the collagen framework in your bones, and calcium to fill it in. Because it's fermented, it's also easier on digestion than some dairy products. Easy tip. Have a cup for breakfast with berries and a sprinkle of nuts. 5. Almonds, the magnesium in AMP. Protein snack. Magnesium plays a big role in converting vitamin D into its active form, so your body can actually use the calcium you eat. Almonds also offer a bit of protein and healthy fat, making them a great snack for sustained energy. Easy tip. Keep a small bag of almonds in your car or desk for a midday bone boost. Patrick began adding all 5 of these foods to his weekly routine. Within a month, his doctor noted an improvement in his posture and balance, and Patrick told me, "Doc, I feel steadier on my feet, like my legs are holding me up again." And it's not just about adding these foods, it's about adding them consistently, because bone strength is built meal by meal, day by day. One of the first things men ask me after they start eating for bone health is, "Doc, how soon will I notice a difference?" While bone density changes take time to show up on a scan, you can feel improvements in balance, strength, and confidence much sooner. Here's what a realistic 30-day roadmap can look like. Days 1 to 7, laying the foundation. Your body starts getting a steady supply of the nutrients your bones crave: calcium, vitamin D, magnesium, protein, and vitamin K. You may notice less joint stiffness in the morning. Energy feels more stable throughout the day. Patrick told me that during his first week, I didn't have that heavy-legged feeling every afternoon. Days 8 to 14. Muscles and AMP. Bones working together. Stronger muscles mean stronger bones, and by week 2, the protein from foods like salmon, yogurt, and tofu is helping your muscles support your skeleton better. Everyday movements like standing from a chair or walking upstairs start to feel easier. You might notice better posture without even thinking about it. Days 15 to 30. Confidence and AMP. Stability return. Your body is now consistently using the nutrients you're giving it to reinforce bone structure. Balance improves, and you feel more secure on your feet. That quiet fear of falling starts to fade, replaced by a sense of control. Activities you've been avoiding, gardening, light sports, walking longer distances, start to feel possible again. Patrick said that by day 28, he could walk the length of his local park without holding onto a cane for, just in case, support. Remember, stronger bones aren't built overnight, but every meal and every day you stick with this plan sends a signal to your body. Keep building, stay strong. Here's what I want every man over 60 to hear loud and clear: your bones are not a lost cause. You are not too old to get stronger. I've seen men in their late 60s, 70s, even 80s walk into my office hunched over, careful with every step, avoiding activities they once loved because of fear of pain, fear of falling, fear of losing independence. And I've watched those same men, months later, stand taller, move with purpose, and walk back into my office with a different energy. Their voices were stronger. Their eyes had that spark again. They weren't just physically steadier, they were emotionally lighter. Patrick told me something that stuck with me. He said, "Doc, it's not just my bones that feel stronger, it's me. I'm saying yes to things again. I'm not sitting life out on the sidelines anymore." That's the real transformation. Because stronger bones don't just protect you from fractures, they give you back choices. The choice to walk without hesitation. The choice to travel, to garden, to dance at your granddaughter's wedding. The choice to live without constantly calculating the risk of every step. And when you realize that your bones can still respond, still rebuild, still carry you where you want to go, you stop living in fear, and start living in freedom again. If Patrick's story sounds even a little like yours, I want you to know this: his progress wasn't luck. It wasn't genetics. It was a series of small, daily choices repeated over and over. And that's something every man over 60 can do, starting today. But you don't have to do it alone. There's a whole community of men just like you, and the people who care about them, sharing their wins, their struggles, and their favorite bone-strengthening meals. I'd love for you to be part of that conversation. In the comments below, share the food you're most excited to add to your week. Tell us your story, even if it's just where you're starting from today. Because you never know, your words might be the encouragement another man needs to take his first step. And if you know a friend, a brother, or even a neighbor who's been slowing down because of bone or joint concerns, send them this video. Sometimes, a single conversation can change someone's health journey completely. Remember, stronger bones aren't just about walking without pain. They're about living the life you want, without fear, without limits. So start today. Because every meal, every step, every choice from here on out can be a vote for strength, stability, and freedom in the years ahead.